Take it away.
Great. Thanks very much. Go ahead. For a long time now, branding has really happened in isolation from UX. They have often sat at different tables, rarely interacting, and marketing teams are now beginning to understand the power of UX. And I think it's worth getting this out there up front. A lot of hatred in the room, I can feel it coming back at me. A lot of my time is spent designing UX and UI for advertising campaigns, so that's kind of my perspective on this. Traditionally, established branding techniques are built on decades of offline reinforcement, print and radio and TV, all of the mediums that we understand. But with those mediums comes a problem. We can't interact with those, and we don't have any way to actually engage with the brand on a deeper level than that. But now, brand characteristics are no longer definitive. The layer of interface in branding reveals an unprecedented breadth of characteristics within a brand and gives perpetual and immediate access to the brand for a lot of users. And the more I spend time designing for brands, the more I believe this is actually really true. The UX is the foundation of a modern brand. And it actually gives people increasing responsibility to deliver a brand message through an interface. So we all know there's been quite a bit of tension in the UX community between the needs of the brand and good design. And the role of a UX designer is traditionally user-centric. We have little sympathy for the actual brand within the design process, especially if it's something we feel people don't need. But I think it's what we design is how people enter into a much richer relationship with the brand. And users might now feel that they're heard instead of spoken to. And that forms part of continuous iteration with the brand. And that's a huge shift for marketing, to actually put a user in the front of everything they're doing. And because it's something people sometimes barely notice, I think it's worth calling out a couple of really nice examples. So this is Hootsuite's sleep mode, and this is really for preserving bandwidth within the network, but I think it's a really nice way of getting across the activity they're trying to do, but allowing people to sort of take time to take in a message rather than it just being stop in an application. And Slack, obviously a company who understands how busy their users are and how full their inboxes are, automatically and immediately disable email notifications after installing the mobile app. Their loading messages are great and really speak further to their understanding of the user. And this is a great application that basically called Twitter Counter that recommends why not try coffee, or they even give you a random article on Wikipedia to read. And I think that's kind of great whilst you're waiting. Virgin America's mission statement is really worth talking about here, and I think they two of the things they say is we want to make flying fun again, and we thrive on doing things differently, and you really see that in the way that they do their seating plans. So you can't actually see this all that well, but instead of just selecting a gray icon of a seat and that turning green, you're allowed to select an avatar, and that avatar then remains in that seating plan until the plane takes off. Obviously, their layout is super simple and famous for that, but I think some of the things that I love in this as well is that when you select particular locations, you get a message at the top of the page. So when you're selecting the fact that you're going to Las Vegas, they say, repent before you go. And, sure, as UX designers, we try and define the simplest route and the most frictionless path to things. But as UX designers, like it or loathe it, we're also designing an emotional connection to the brand through the interface. We make real the part of the interface that people often have the most visceral connection to. So defining the experience of a brand now means we need deeper thinking about the meaning of the brand and how that's experienced through the products and services a company provides. Increasingly, as brands embrace a user-first approach in marketing, I think our role is also to become advocates for people within the world of the brand. UX should give real people the tools they need to communicate in this new relationship. I think it's actually a really exciting time for UX design because traditionally we've focused on utility and service more than an emotional connection. And understanding this connection means that part of our role as designers now is to help keep brands honest to the very promises that they've made and to keep them more focused on the user. And I think that's a great thing. So thanks very much for listening. My name's Owen.